Did you know that your body doesn't start aging because of time, but because of the beliefs you've been absorbing since the moment you arrived in this world? From the very beginning, your mind was slowly programmed to drain your life force, to wear you down, to make you believe that fatigue, stress, and decline are just part of growing older. But what most people don't realize is that there is a hidden code, something ancient, powerful, and real that can reverse this process. This isn't some fantasy or theory. This is wisdom left behind by a master from ancient Egypt named Thoth. He didn't just leave behind myths or stories. He passed down real teachings, energetic keys, and sacred symbols designed to awaken something in you, something that restores your energy, sharpens your mind, and renews your body from the inside out. And if you've started to feel like something deep within you is shifting, you're not imagining it. You're starting to remember what you were made to forget. But this isn't just about your thoughts or ideas. This is about the way you've been silently influenced your whole life. Your energy has been shaped by systems, stories, and routines designed to distract you from your true nature. You've been placed inside an invisible prison, and it doesn't look like bars or fences. It looks like everyday life. It looks like the news you read, the timelines you scroll, the notifications that demand your attention, the conversations that pull you away from yourself, the productivity culture that never lets you rest. You were born into a world where your attention is constantly being stolen, and most people never notice it happening. From the moment you wake up, your nervous system is being hijacked by external stimuli, your phone, your messages, your to-do list, your fears. And so, without moving a muscle, your spirit begins the day already tired. You aren't just physically drained, you're mentally overwhelmed and spiritually numb. The more distracted you are, the easier it is for the system to control you. If you're constantly reacting, constantly comparing, constantly chasing, you won't stop long enough to see what's really happening. And that's exactly what this system wants. It doesn't want you to wake up. It doesn't want you to question. It wants you to stay plugged in, buying, watching, consuming, running, all while thinking you're living freely. But real freedom doesn't look like that. Real freedom starts when you notice that everything you thought was normal is actually part of a trap. A trap that's been shaping how you think, how you feel, and how you live. You've been trained to believe that being tired, anxious, and disconnected is just part of adult life. You've been taught that this emptiness you feel from time to time is a flaw, something to avoid or fix or ignore. But the truth is that emptiness is not your enemy. It's your invitation. It's the first sign that your soul is trying to speak to you. It shows up quietly, like a strange hollow feeling when you're alone, like a heaviness that lingers even after success, like a sadness that creeps in even when everything seems okay on the outside. That emptiness is not failure. It's your awakening. It's the part of you that's still connected to truth, to spirit, to purpose. And the more you try to cover it up with noise, distractions, purchases, or achievements, the louder it becomes. Every ancient wisdom tradition understood this sacred moment. From Egypt to India to Greece to the Far East, the masters knew that the moment of internal emptiness was actually the doorway to inner transformation. They didn't see this feeling as a problem. They saw it as the beginning of healing. Because before you can return to your true self, everything false must fall away. And that's what this emptiness does. It strips you of illusions. It forces you to pause. It asks you to look within, not to judge, not to analyze, but simply to listen. That silence you've been avoiding is the only place where truth can finally speak. But the world will do everything it can to pull you back. Distractions will become louder. Fears will rise. You'll be tempted to return to old habits. Because the system knows that if you ever truly stop and listen, you'll remember who you are. And once you remember, you can't be controlled anymore. Because you'll begin to choose presence over distraction, peace over chaos, authenticity over approval. You'll stop chasing what you never really needed, and you'll start reclaiming your life, your breath, your energy, your time. This isn't just about inner peace. It's about vibrational power. Your energy isn't just something you feel. It's something you carry. And when your thoughts, emotions, and body are aligned, that energy becomes magnetic. It heals. It attracts. It renews. But when you're constantly pulled outside of yourself, that energy becomes fragmented. Your breath becomes shallow. Your posture closes. Your field weakens. And slowly, you begin to wear down, not just emotionally, but physically. The aging of the body is just a reflection of the disconnection between mind and spirit. When you restore that connection, something miraculous happens. You begin to regenerate. Your body responds to inner harmony with strength, clarity, and vitality. Thoth understood this. He didn't just see the system that enslaves people. He saw the way out. He left behind codes, frequencies, and truths for those who were ready to see. And it always starts the same way, with a call from within, that strange emptiness, that quiet longing, that soft inner voice that says, there has to be more than this. That feeling isn't weakness. It's the light trying to break through, and you're not alone. All throughout history, others have heard this call. The ancient teachers, the mystics, the prophets, the awakened ones. They all followed the same inner pull, and they all taught the same message in different words. The truth you're looking for is already inside you. Even the words of Jesus, the kingdom of heaven is within you, were never about a place in the sky. They were about a state of being, a level of awareness, a connection to the divine spark inside your heart. But over time, that message was twisted. People were taught to look outside themselves for salvation, to chase some future reward instead of realizing their power now. And so, the path of awakening was buried under centuries of fear, guilt, and obedience. But the truth never died. It simply waited for you to remember. And now you are remembering. That's what this whole feeling is about. That's why you're drawn to these words. That's why you feel that stirring in your chest. That's why the old life doesn't satisfy you anymore. Because your soul is ready to reclaim its truth. And once that process begins, there's no going back. You may feel lonely at times. You may feel like you're walking through a fog. But keep going. Because what waits on the other side of this emptiness is a kind of peace that the world cannot give. A peace that stays with you in the chaos. A peace that doesn't depend on approval, success, or circumstances. A peace that comes from alignment with who you really are. That's the energy Thoth was pointing to. Not a surface level idea, but a deep inner state. A frequency, a vibration, a living truth. And once you begin to align with that, everything begins to shift. Your breath deepens. Your thoughts slow down. Your body starts to relax. You stop reacting and start responding. You move from survival to presence, from stress to stillness, from exhaustion to regeneration. And this isn't something you have to strive for. You don't have to force it or chase it. You just have to stop running from yourself. Sit with the silence. Breathe. Feel. Allow the emptiness to speak. Because buried beneath that feeling is your true voice. The one that was silenced by noise. The one that still knows the way home. You don't need anything outside you to begin this process. You just need to listen. And the more you do, the more the code begins to unlock. Not in your intellect, but in your energy. Not in theory, but in experience. Everything you've been searching for already exists within you. The clarity, the power, the peace, the vitality, the light. It was never lost. It was only buried. And now you are ready to remember, ready to rise, ready to become whole again. And once you do, no system, no lie, no distraction can ever steal your truth again. Buddha once said that all suffering begins in the mind. He taught that it is our attachment, our desires, and our fears that create the invisible chains keeping us trapped in cycles of pain. These are not physical chains. They exist inside us, made from thoughts, emotions, and illusions we've accepted as truth. Instead of seeing this as a powerful call to awaken and set ourselves free from within, many people misunderstood his message. Over time, his teachings were turned into religions, filled with empty rituals, strict rules, and traditions that lost the essence of what he was really saying. The message was never about worshiping him or blindly following rituals. He was pointing us inward, inviting us to realize that true freedom doesn't come from anything outside. It comes from how we see, feel, and interpret life itself. When your mind is clear, when your heart is open, you begin to walk in peace, no matter what chaos may surround you. Socrates also understood this in his own way. He didn't claim to have all the answers. Instead, he asked simple but deep questions, questions that shook the foundations of the beliefs people were raised on. He didn't speak from ego or try to build a following. He questioned because he knew that wisdom was not about gathering facts, but about breaking through false certainty. He saw how the mind could be conditioned by family, culture, religion, and power. He wanted to help people wake up from the sleep of inherited beliefs. But just like Buddha, his message was eventually reduced to theories and lectures. The living fire of his questioning spirit was turned into lifeless pages in school books. What was meant to set people free became just another academic subject. Hermes Trismegistus carried a message that may have been even more mysterious, but no less powerful. He taught that the outer world is a mirror of your inner world. He said that what is above is like what is below, and what is within is like what is without. These weren't just poetic lines. They were keys. He was trying to show us that we are not separate from the world around us. The energy we carry inside becomes the life we experience outside. Our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs, they are not just private experiences. They shape the world we live in. But instead of honoring this wisdom, humanity rejected it. These teachings were hidden, banned, called forbidden knowledge. Why? Because if people realized how much power they have within, they wouldn't be so easy to control. A person who knows how to shift their own energy doesn't need to live in fear. They don't need to be told what to think. They become self-aware, and self-aware people are dangerous to any system built on control. Thoth, the great Egyptian sage, knew this too, but he didn't just share truth in the form of teachings or poetic phrases. He left behind something even more valuable, a method, a step-by-step process that wasn't complicated or reserved for priests, but simple and powerful enough to awaken anyone who truly followed it. This process is known as inner alchemy or mental alchemy. It's about transforming the energy of your mind and emotions into something lighter, freer, more alive. The goal was never to turn metals into gold. That was a symbol. The real goal is to turn fear into clarity, guilt into presence, pain into peace. It's about transforming the heavy vibrations that hold you down into higher ones that lift you up. This is not a fantasy or a metaphor. It's a real process that affects your body, your mind, and your entire reality. This alchemy isn't something that happens only during deep meditation or in sacred temples. It happens in the most ordinary moments of life. When someone angers you and you choose not to react. When you feel fear and you take a deep breath instead of spiraling into panic. When you replace self-hate with compassion. Every one of these choices shifts your energy. And energy is what your body responds to. It's what your nervous system, your cells, and your organs feel. That's why people who carry resentment often feel older, tired, or sick. The energy of bitterness doesn't just stay in your thoughts. It weighs down your body. But people who live with gratitude, peace, and balance often radiate something different. They glow. Their presence feels safe, warm, alive. They look younger not because of perfect skin or perfect lives, but because of how they carry themselves. Light, soft, calm. Their inner state reflects outwardly. This is what real rejuvenation is. It's not about expensive creams or surgeries. It's about healing the inner space. You can change your clothes, your home, your job. But if you are still thinking the same thoughts that drain your energy, nothing truly changes. The patterns stay. The pain stays. The fear stays. Transformation begins not outside you, but in the quiet moments when you decide to think, feel, and respond differently. This is the path of the alchemist, and it's the beginning of a much deeper journey, one that Thoth knew would eventually lead to a hidden point inside you, an energetic switch that, once activated, doesn't just shift your thoughts. It changes the entire way your energy field operates. Thousands of years after these teachings were passed down, modern science began to catch up. For a long time, science believed the world was made of solid matter, that everything was separate and predictable. But when quantum physics emerged, everything changed. Scientists began to realize that matter isn't solid at all. Everything is made of energy. Everything is vibration. Even your body is not as fixed as it seems. It changes based on how you think, feel, and perceive. If you live in survival mode, stuck in fear and stress, your body reacts like it's under constant threat. Your immune system weakens. You age faster. But when you start living in a peaceful, loving, and joyful state, your body heals itself. It becomes lighter, stronger, younger. This is not magic. It's chemistry guided by consciousness. Science has also started to study how meditation, gratitude, and focused intention affect the body. The results are clear. People who live in positive mental and emotional states have lower levels of inflammation. They recover faster. Their cells regenerate more effectively. Their hearts are healthier. Their minds are clearer. This is not superstition. It's biology. The mind and body are not separate. Your emotions affect your blood. Your thoughts affect your immune system. Everything is connected. But there's more. Thoth didn't just leave behind teachings. He left symbols. Symbols don't speak to the logical mind. They speak to your energy body. They bypass your thinking and communicate directly with your soul. The most powerful of these is the Ankh, the Egyptian key of life. It's more than just an ancient image carved on temple walls. It represents the energetic structure of life itself. The loop at the top symbolizes the infinite nature of your soul. The vertical line represents your connection with divine energy. The horizontal line shows balance between your inner world and outer life, between heaven and earth, thought and action. When you understand the Ankh not just as an external symbol, but as a living energy within you, it becomes a doorway. It's not about wearing it around your neck or admiring it. Its true power is activated when you feel it inside you. The Emerald Tablet, another one of Thoth's gifts, is not just a mysterious text. It is encoded with meaning that cannot be unlocked through intellect alone. Every sentence, every phrase, holds multiple layers of truth, and these layers are only revealed through presence, breath, and contemplation. These symbols act as activators. They don't hold the power themselves. The power awakens when you connect with the truth they represent inside you. This is what most people miss. Wearing the Ankh or repeating the Emerald Tablet's words like magic spells won't change you. But when you close your eyes, place your attention on your chest, and feel the symbol as a living frequency, something begins to shift. You start to remember who you are. Your energy starts moving again. The parts of you that were blocked begin to flow. Visualizing the Ankh at the center of your chest is not just imagination. It's energetic activation. As you see it in your mind's eye, imagine it glowing, turning, radiating waves of life through every cell of your body. As you breathe in, imagine that you're breathing in light. As you breathe out, release the tension, the heaviness, the stories you've been carrying. Feel your energy becoming clear. Feel your body remembering what it means to be alive, present, and whole. This is the beginning of sacred remembrance. This is how you return to yourself, not by seeking answers outside, but by activating what already lives within. The real alchemy is not out there. It's in your breath, in your stillness, in your awareness, in your willingness to feel, to let go, to transform. This is the secret the world tried to bury, but you are ready to remember. Right now, your mind might start drifting. It may bring up random thoughts, distractions, doubts, or judgments. That's okay. You don't have to resist them. Just notice them without getting pulled in. Let them pass like clouds in the sky or leaves floating down a stream. You don't need to jump into the river of thoughts. You only need to observe it. And when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to your heart, to the center of your chest. Imagine the Ankh, a symbol of life, spinning gently inside you. glowing and sending waves of living energy throughout your entire body. As you focus on this symbol and breathe, you may begin to feel a quiet opening in your chest, as though a tight inner space is gently unfolding. That space inside you holds your true energy. It's where your life force rests. And when you give it your attention, something subtle but powerful begins to shift. A sense of lightness appears. A calm energy fills you. And this lightness doesn't come from anything around you. It comes from deep within your being. You don't need hours of meditation or rituals to reach this space. Just a few quiet minutes each day, breathing, focusing, and remembering this place inside can begin to undo the exhaustion, the stress, and the energetic pressure that's built up over time. What once felt like constant tiredness starts to lift, and in its place, a new kind of energy begins to rise. This isn't a fake burst of energy from caffeine or adrenaline. It's not about pushing through your day. It's a steady, authentic vitality that comes from a real balance between your mind, your body, and your spirit. This is how healing begins, not by force, but by returning to your natural state of alignment. You begin to reverse the wear and tear that life has placed on your system, not by adding more pressure, but by reconnecting to your original design. This is a sacred process. With your breath, your presence, and the simple image of a spinning cymbal in your heart, you're tapping into something ancient and intelligent. Science is still learning how this works, but the wisdom has been here all along. Thoth, the ancient teacher, already shared these teachings millennia ago. The secret is not complicated. It's just been buried under noise, speed, and forgetting. Activation is the first step. But what matters even more is learning how to keep this energy alive in your everyday life. Awakening is not a one-time moment. It's a continuous choice. And that choice gets tested in the real world, in your routines, in your reactions, in the middle of daily distractions and emotional triggers. Keeping your energy steady when everything around you tries to pull you back into autopilot is like protecting a small flame in a storm. It requires patience. It requires care. It requires your presence. At first, it might feel hard. You might feel yourself slipping back into old habits, rushing through your day, absorbing stress, reacting without thinking. That's okay. This is where your transformation really begins. Every moment, you are choosing what kind of energy you want to live in. Your frequency, your vibration, is not just something you feel. It's something that shapes your entire reality. It affects how your body functions, how your emotions flow, how others respond to you, and how you move through the world. And when you begin to choose thoughts and actions that protect and nurture your energy, everything begins to change. Your body starts responding. Your immune system strengthens. Your fatigue lessens. Your sleep becomes deeper. Your breathing slows down. Your nervous system begins to relax. And all of this happens not because of something outside of you, but because your inner state has shifted. But the real question is, how do you keep that going every day? It begins with noticing, paying attention to your daily habits. When you wake up in the morning, do you dive straight into stress? Or do you pause and choose your first thought? Throughout your day, do you consume things online, on your phone, in conversations that uplift you or drain you? Do the words you speak bring life to your spirit, or do they feed judgment complaint, and heaviness. Every single one of these choices shapes your vibration. And the more you choose what aligns with your true self, the more natural it becomes. You're not trying to be perfect. You're simply choosing to stay aware. And when you fall into an old pattern, don't blame yourself. Just come back. Return to your breath. Picture the cymbals spinning in your chest. Feel your presence come back into your body. That return is where your power grows. It's not about never slipping. It's about always returning. Over time, this returning becomes easier. The mind begins to quiet more quickly. The body doesn't hold onto stress as tightly. The energy begins to flow again. And this quiet healing becomes visible. You see it in your face. You feel it in your posture. You notice it in how you speak, how you walk, how people look at you. This internal renewal slowly becomes your new normal. But there's a deeper part of this that still remains. The direct, sacred connection to the source of eternal energy that keeps you in a constant state of renewal. This was the deepest truth that Thoth held until the end. And now it is being revealed again. That source is not outside of you. It's not a special place only a few can reach. It's not hidden in a temple or found through someone else. It is the field of life energy that has always surrounded you and lived inside you. But it was forgotten because of noise, stress, and habit. This truth is not just a spiritual idea. It's a real, living pattern, a cycle, and it flows through three powerful forces that support one another like breath, heartbeat, and movement. The first is the stillness inside you, the silence that opens when you stop chasing, stop thinking, and just listen. In that silence, even if only for a few seconds, your connection to the source becomes clear again. That is where energy begins to return. The second is the activation of your energy. The moment you feel life moving again in your body, your breath, your chest, through your presence and intention. You've already experienced this. You've already touched it. This doesn't require a guide or a ritual. It just needs your awareness. The third is living with that energy in the world, making conscious choices, responding from your center, and letting your energy shape your words, actions, and relationships. Every moment is an opportunity to express the energy you've awakened. Every moment is either a reflection of your past patterns or a choice to live in your new vibration. When these three forces are working together, your inner silence, your activated energy, and your conscious presence in life, your whole system begins to regenerate on its own. You no longer have to force healing. You allow it. Your body begins to repair itself. Your energy renews effortlessly. Your thoughts become clearer, and your life begins to reflect the harmony within you. This is true rejuvenation, not the kind that relies on outer appearance or short-term solutions. This is a return to your natural rhythm, a deep, lasting alignment with your true self. And it is available to everyone who is willing to slow down, wake up, and choose to live from within. If you've made it this far, it's because something in you is already awakening. This is not a coincidence. This is a remembering. And now the power is in your hands. Because knowing this means nothing if you don't live it. It's the daily return, the quiet choices, the breath, the pause, the presence. That's where the transformation becomes real. If you feel this shift happening in you right now, write in the comments, My inner energy has awakened. That will let me know who truly felt this.